Hey guys, what's up family? Welcome back to another exciting episode of J&B Live Podcast. I'm your guy, the man, Broker J3, and today, we're getting into it. Mm-hmm. You know, how do you deal with rude people, okay? Mm-hmm. From Karen at the cash register to the folks on the job who act like they own you. This isn't just about manners, it's about respect, guys. Mm-hmm. Right now in America, it's getting harder to find it.
Yes it is. And I'm your girl, Dr. B, and this is not for play. This is not a game. With your president in office, with President Trump in office, so-called President Trump in office, the energy has shifted. And everybody probably has realized it. I don't know where you live, but I'm in the South. And I know the climate has shifted. Some people, they feel bold. Boy, they real bold now. Like they can say anything that they want to black and brown people. But today, we're going to pull this apart. We're going to take it apart. We're going to dissect it. Is rudeness a reflection of power, pain, or just plain ignorance? And we're going to talk about it, guys. So, guys, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. LJ, Callie, and Terry, thank you guys for joining in. Thank you guys for being a part of the J&B family. We do appreciate your support. Okay, well, let's get this thing started. Let's go. So some of the talking point, guys, are we're going to talk about public disrespect and entitlement, because you know now that he's in office, some of them feel like they just plain out entitled to do whatever they want to. I had them cut me off in traffic. You know, it's happening. It's going to happen. But we want to know why people feel emboldened to act out right now. Why do they feel like they can just do whatever they want? And then there's a shift in the tone post-Trump. When the top gets toxic, then it flows down. The streets follow. Everybody else follows. So if he's doing it, guess what? They feel like they can do it as well. But we here to say, oh no. You know, like I said, the times have changed now. Things have changed. Now this is 2025, okay? All right, so things have changed. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to dissect that. So thank you, Hunting Wife 2222. Thank you for joining us, Ruben and Robert. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you for your support, and thank you for being a part of the J&B family. Thank you, Jeff P. We got a Leela Ricci. Thank you guys. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, we got a couple of disrespectful people in the chat.
Okay.
If you get disrespectful, you will get blocked and kicked out of the room.
Yeah.
We don't tolerate that, guys. We're a happy family here. We like to talk about different subjects, whether we agree or disagree. We're going to be respectful. This is the topic that we're talking about today. Yeah. Why people feel that they can just disrespect you and just be rude for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, so for them guys that's out there,
they're the trolls. They're the trolls.
You know,
they're the
you
trolls.
will be blocked. You will be blocked.
Because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If you don't like what we have to say, then jump off the podcast.
Exactly.
That's
if you
all
want to
you
listen, you can listen, but don't put no rude comments in the chat. Thank you so much.
And don't hide behind your fingers. Don't hide behind the screen.
Exactly.
Okay? All right.
We're going to get back to those talking points. We also want to talk about why it is different with black and brown folks. Rudeness plus racism, it equals harm. And also we're going to get into everyday environments. You know, the grocery stores, the doctor's office, police stops, you know, the PTA meetings and job interviews, you know, because you guys feel it no matter where you are.
It can happen anywhere, so you just have to be prepared. So what we're going to do is we want you to participate. This is a comment where you add your comments. It's like a live chat. What is the rudest experience that you've had this year? I want you to drop it in the chat, and we're going to read some of them loud, because if you're experiencing that, someone else may have experienced it as well. And so we want to talk about that, because we want you to know how to go forward and to move forward when this does happen to you. As I mentioned the other day, I was cut off in traffic, and then earlier today, someone was rude to me when I asked to use one of the public bathrooms. We stopped to get some gas, and he was just totally rude, just for no reason. And people feel like they can do that now that the climate has changed. So we're going to talk about that, guys. Okay? Drop us some comments, guys, and let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah, we'll appreciate that. Put your comments in the chat. Let us know if you somebody's ever been rude to you, disrespectful while you was out and about or wherever. Just put it in the chat, guys, and we'll be glad to talk about it live.
And we're going to go ahead and give a shout out for a happy birthday. We got Dixon Maya's birthday. So happy birthday.
Birthday, Dixon.
Yes. Thank you for adding that comment. Now go ahead and tell us what has happened to you. I just shared with you 2 things that happened to me. Broker J, can you think of any way where you were disrespected?
Yeah, it happens all the time, and like you said, it's sometimes on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes you can be out and about, even something simple, you walking by somebody, and saying excuse me, and they're rude to you. One guy bumped into me, and I was saying excuse me, trying to move out the way, and he bumped into me, and I guess he was hoping that I'd start something, but I'm not about violence, anything like that. It takes a little bit more than a bump to get me agitated.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, shout out. I want to give some shout outs to some of our viewers out there. Shout out to our early crew in Miami, St. Louis, and Oakland. We see you. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, subscribe.
Yes, thank
Remember,
you.
keep tapping that screen, and we'll appreciate your gifts. We always try to reach our gift goal. So you guys go ahead and send those gifts. We really appreciate it. Every little bit counts. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into a real life role play today. We're gonna me and Doc B are gonna do a couple little role plays for you guys, let you guys know how some of these situations may occur, and you guys may have experienced some of these things that have happened, and how you would handle that particular situation. So let's get into these scenarios. Sometimes you got to rehearse your piece.
Yes, and, you have to practice.
You have to, because if you don't, sometimes you'll react without thinking. So we're going to play it out, and you just tell us in the chat how you would respond to this particular scenario, okay?
Okay.
This first scenario is going to be the grocery store Karen, okay? Some of you guys may have experienced this before. It doesn't necessarily have to be the grocery store. It could be the hardware store. It could be the restaurant, okay?
Yeah. And I'm going to be the grocery store Karen or the restaurant Karen. Woo! You people are always so loud.
Ma'am, I'm not sure who you people is, but this ain't your line, and ain't the one.
Well, maybe if you all knew how to act.
Now, we're going to pause right there. Now, how many of you guys done heard somebody say you people?
Hey, Atwin. Hey, Kate.
Now, do you confront her publicly? Do you get loud on her right then and there on the spot? Or do you notify the manager and let the manager know how rude this employee was? Or do you simply just walk away and protect your peace? You guys tell us what you guys would do. Yep, heard that before. Exactly. Very ignorant. Exactly.
Ignorant.
So how would you handle it? Would you confront her publicly? Or would you notify the store manager? Or would you walk away and protect your peace? We like to hear what you guys would do in a situation like that.
I want her to explain to me what you people mean, because I've heard that too often before. So let's do some type of engagement. So what I want you guys to do, if you would confront that person, that Karen, directly, I want you to type a 1 in the comment section. If you would go to the manager, I want you to type a 2 in the comment section. If you will walk away in peace just to protect your peace, type 3 in the comment section for us, okay? All right, guys, let's get those numbers in. Let's get them in.
We got somebody said, let me talk with the manager.
Oh,
Exactly. That okay, number 2, exactly. Talk to the manager. You know what? And actually, in a situation like that, you got a number instead of a name. But in a situation like that, that, to me personally, that would be the best option. Now, you have to keep in mind now, you may be in one of those situations where the manager may be just as rude as the employee.
Okay. All right. So those are things that you need to be prepared in case this should happen to you. Okay, guys? You just be prepared. Now, each person may handle it differently, based on where you are. That's why you have to practice it so that you are prepared.
Exactly. And now what we're going to do, we're going to discuss what you can gain and lose in each reaction. Now, confronting them directly. Now, what you could gain is feeling a peace of mind.
Yes.
Straightening them out, correcting them, or what it depending on how they engage with you in regards to confronting them. You may feel like maybe that probably wasn't necessarily the right way to do it, or the timing probably wasn't the best. Going to the manager. We just spoke about that. Me personally, I feel like that is the best option. But again, sometimes the manager may be just disrespectful as the employee.
Yeah. Now, so for me, confronting them directly, to me, that will relieve some stress and anxiety, because sometimes if you don't react to that, you don't have to say anything loud or aggressively. Anything when you confront that person, you can say it in a peaceful tone. And then also going to the manager, that's a way to handle it, and just let that manager handle it. And also when you walk away in peace, those two allow you to keep your peace, and you just allow someone else to handle that situation.
And just like the viewer just said, especially if the manager is not receptive, you are absolutely correct, because you never know how they're going to respond to you.
Okay, I got one person said they call it corporate. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yes,
I've done that before. When somebody's been rude to me before, I have asked, because sometimes when you ask people what's the number for corporate, they don't want to give you the number.
No,
but there's ways that you can find that number to corporate.
Exactly.
Believe me.
Exactly. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get into the next scenario. It's the microaggressive manager. Okay. That's what we're going to get into. And Doc B is going to be my manager, okay, in this particular situation, okay?
Yes, and then this is the thing. I just want to tell you that you're just a little too aggressive in the meetings, broker, J3.
Aggressive or passionate? Because I notice when Jim speaks up, he's called assertive.
Okay.
Now, you notice that now. Now, she's telling me that I'm being a little bit too aggressive in my meetings, but yet another employee, when he speaks up exactly the same way that I do, that person is called assertive, but she's using the term aggressive for me. Situations like this is what we call coded language in the workplace. Aggressive, intimidating, too direct.
And guys, guess what? Black women often get stereotyped as being loud, aggressive. It don't matter. We're just stereotyped that way. So sometimes when we're not, then we're often portrayed as being loud and aggressive. So sometimes we're not, but people just assume that's what we are.
Exactly. And like I say, you got to be careful of some of that coded language in the workplace, because they will use it. Now, also, you got to be careful of the mental tax, of code switching and having that police tone, like talking to you like you a child, like very authoritative, and you at a workplace.
Yeah.
You guys are equal. Even if they are the manager, you guys are equal. How many of you guys been on a workplace where your manager was much younger than you and was talking to you like you was a child, and that person was old enough to be your child?
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that before?
Well, guys, while you chime in, I know I've experienced that before, because everybody don't know how to communicate well. And so some people will talk to you anyway, because if they're your supervisor, they feel like they can do that. But you have to know how to handle situations like that. Guys, share with us if that has ever happened to you before.
Yeah, and also how to professionally clap back while protecting your job, because in some of these job situations, you have to be very conscious of what you say and how you say it on the job, because you don't want to snap back on somebody at the job and then wind up losing your job, and they're still there, and there was the one that was at fault.
Yeah, that can happen.
It sure
can. All right, guys, JT, Hustle, and Red, thank you guys for joining us. Barbara Bush, thank you. Tanya Williams. Guys, thank you guys for being a part of the J&B family. We got a hot topic. We're talking about those rude people that think that they can just disrespect you and that's it. That's what we're talking about, how to handle those type of situations.
Exactly. So we're going to go ahead. Oh,
here we go. Yeah. Okay, guys. Have you ever had to downplay, who you are just to make someone else comfortable? Let's talk about that. Tell me about it. Let's support each other tonight, guys. Broker J3, has that ever happened to you?
Yes, it has. Some you have to realize sometimes people are intimidated by you. I think that's the best word to use in this particular situation, because some people don't know how to handle your intelligence. So they're intimidated. So a lot of times you have to downplay who you are just a little bit, just to make them feel comfortable. Is it the right thing to do all the time? No. Hell no. But sometimes you have to.
Yeah. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. But it does happen. It does happen, guys. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to talk about the disrespected cop encounter. In other words, if you are pulled over by the police, which now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, if this, what is called a frisk, and what is it called? If that comes back into play?
I can't remember.
Yeah, but somebody,
yeah.
I'm sure somebody knows exactly what I'm talking about. There will probably be more black and brown people will be pulled over.
Yeah.
Just for silly stuff. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Regardless to what anybody may think, because people out there that's going to disagree with what I'm about to say, racial profiling does exist.
Yes, it does.
You understand? It does exist. I've been in a situation personally myself where a car sped past me while I was driving. And the police, now the person that was driving that car was white. Okay? They sped past me. The police came, pulled me over. And I said, "Excuse me, officer, the problem." Officer said to me, "You were speeding." I said, "Officer," did you see the person that just sped past me? We both passed you at the same time. He told me, "Don't get rude with me. I clocked you speeding." Now, situation like that, that's racial profiling. Or how about if you've been, you have an out-of-state tag. Say you're visiting from Florida and you're in Atlanta. And say you're in one of those particular cities in Atlanta, especially if you're black, where, that's, not too many of us are in that area. And you just pass by. You don't have to be speeding or anything like that, and you just get pulled over. They're going to give you a weird reason why they pulled you over. Your light was too dim, or it looked like it was out.
Yes.
Or you forgot to put your signal on when you made a turn, and hoping that if you roll your window down, they can smell something, so they can say, "It smells like this," or "Have you been drinking?" just to have a reason to truthfully pull you over. So, guys, anyway, I'm going to be the police officer in this particular scenario, and Doc B is just going to be the driver, okay? And pretty much, basically, I'm going to escalate a basic traffic stop with disrespectful language, okay?
Okay.
And basically, okay.
And you pull me over.
And I pulled over.
And I'm just going to say, "Okay, officer, I'm reaching for my license," because you always want to just move in slow motion to make sure that the officer can see your hands at all times, because we don't want it to be to where an officer can shoot you and says that you're reaching for a gun. So officer, I'm reaching for my license, okay? Okay.
All right, well, hurry up. You people think you're slick.
So guess what? The average person will hear that and they'll say, "Well, hey, this officer is treating me a little bit differently. Don't you think, Broker J3?
Exactly.
Why is he saying you people? Back to that same you people, right?"
Exactly. And see, you guys have to be very self-conscious, because a lot of times that language is what they call a trigger. That officer is getting you to say something so that he can take it further than he already has.
Yeah.
You understand?
Exactly.
So what they're doing is they're putting that fear factor into you. Can you afford to respond?
Yeah. And so that's why we're saying you need to practice before you have this particular encounter, so you know how to handle yourself. So I'm going to ask this question: how race, class, and location can influence these interactions? It can be totally different based on who you are, what state you in, what county you in. It can escalate in a New York minute if you're not careful. So you need to know how to handle yourself.
Exactly. Like she said, depending on the location, and just going to keep it real. If you're a person of color and you're in Idaho, don't be surprised, if you get pulled over. They may ask you, what are you doing in that area? You know, I'm just being honest. Even
Yes.
if you live there, you know, they may pull you over just because.
Just because. All right, Mike, thank you for joining us. Jesse Wilson, William Brewer, thank you guys for joining us and being a part of the J&B family. Guys, some of you guys have been on for a while, and we do appreciate your support. We miss Blue. Thank you for joining us as well. We appreciate the gifters as well. Thank you guys. That gift goes a long way, and we do appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're going to get back to it now. Do we need different strategies for different environments? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Depending on your situation, where you're at, location, the time of day.
Yes.
You know, yes, you do need a different strategy for different environments. That is correct. Now, I want you guys to drop a prayer emoji.
Yes,
if you had to pray your way through a police stop. Now this is real, y'all. If you done got in a situation, you done seen them blue lights hit you, and hey, drop an emoji, a prayer emoji in that chat. If the police done pulled you over and you had to pray through it, Lord, let me make it through this. Go ahead, guys. Put that.
That's right.
I know it doesn't happen now. Come on, guys. Put it in the chat now. Put that prayer emoji.
Come on, Skip. Yeah, give us a chat, guys.
I know.
Listen here, I know some of y'all have experienced that. Thank you, P. Hunter, for joining us, and Eagle AG. Thank you guys for joining us. We do appreciate it.
I know if it was me, I have about 3-4 of those prayer emojis. I'm trying to tell you.
Yes.
That happened too many times in my lifetime.
Okay, guys. All right. But we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about, earlier I talked about how different generations handle what's happening now, being respected. Things are different now.
Yes.
Our generation is different from the generation now. So we're going to talk about respect through the decades, the then versus the now. Okay.
Exactly. And just a quick jump in, Dot B.
Okay.
To give you guys a little explanation of what she means by the respect through the decades then and now. Now, you guys ever was reading some of the slave books or watched the slave movie, and some of you guys nowadays like, oh, that couldn't have been me.
Yeah.
Oh, that couldn't have been me. Or they wouldn't have spit in my face. Or they wouldn't have whipped me. That's how you feel now. But back then, why did they take that abuse? Because it was some things that was happening then that you guys don't experience right now.
Yeah. And believe it or not, Broker J3, I used to say that exact same thing. Just like my ancestors picked cotton. I'm in the South. I'm in Georgia. So I often said, well, hey, oh God, I know I wouldn't have picked no cotton. But I don't know what I would have done if my life depended on it, if I had children. I may have been caught up in that trap to where I had to do with what I was told.
It's about do you want to live?
Do you want to live? Do you want to live? Do you want to get
live?
lynched? That was what happening back then. But now, Broker J3, things are a little different, okay? All right?
Yeah, we can bear arms now.
Okay.
We can bear arms now.
Okay, guys. So back in the day, this was the Jim Crow South. I know you guys have heard about Jim Crow. Our ancestors had to swallow disrespect. They were disrespected. Sometimes if you watch those old movies, it just brings tears to your eyes of how they were disrespected. The black people, they couldn't speak out without risking their lives. But today, are we still carrying that silence?
Hell no. We're not carrying that same silence. Not right now. And even if you pay attention to what's going on in the news, you got representatives, senators that's out there saying, no, we're not finna allow this to happen. You guys been paying attention to the stock markets? It's crashing. It's crashing real bad right now. And people are starting to speak out because they are being affected real bad. This generation is different.
Yes, they are.
From social media call-outs to protests to the viral video, people are choosing visibility over their silence.
Yes, they are. And they're not going to be silent. So some of the other topics I want you guys to think about is, back in the day, when our ancestors were being nice, it did not always protect them. Even though they were nice and they kept their mouths shut, still some of them were still disrespected.
Yes, they were. They were, Dot B.
So it didn't matter. But now Oh, this generation, they like, they don't mind. Some of them don't mind going to jail.
No, they don't. They don't.
And also, you have to think about grandmama's advice. Grandmama's advice was probably just, be quiet, baby. It'll be okay. Be quiet. Versus the Generation Z energy. Like Broker J3 said, they got way more energy. They ain't putting up with that mess.
No, they not. They not.
Yeah.
They're not having it.
And so you have to think of the cost of your silence. It's, you are protecting your peace, your mental health. And you don't want to, you have suppressed anger. And then also you can be traumatized by all of this.
Yes, you can, Doc B.
Oh, gosh. It is.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
And just like example what Doc B was saying about watching some of them old pictures. How many of you guys, I know, I'm Gen X, we're over 50. But some of us, when we watch those older movies, sometimes we get a little upset.
Yes.
It's not like we just cool and chill. When you seen Toby getting his foot chopped off, you're like, oh, hell no. It's like, it's painful. And like I said, it is emotionally, it is kind of traumatizing to see what they had to deal with back then.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Broker J3. When I watch movies like that, I'm traumatized for about 2 weeks. That's why sometimes when those movies come on, they'll have one every now and then. They don't have the slave movies like they used to because people want to forget. See, that's what the new administration wants. They want you to forget about how we were abused. They want it erased out of the textbooks. They want to erase history so that you can forget, so they don't feel guilty for the way that they treated our ancestors.
Exactly.
So, I try not to watch movies like that because, like I said, 2 weeks, I'm mad. 2 weeks. So I try to stay away from those type of movies. Okay, guys. Thank you, Kay Bailey, for joining us. Trey, thank you for joining us as well. We have Maria Augustine, 864. Thank you for joining us. Much love to you guys for being a part of the J&B family. Thank you guys so much.
We'll appreciate you guys. All right, guys. What I want you to do right now, is silence always wise? Or is it sometimes a way of staying small? Mm-hmm. Drop your thoughts below. Let us know, how do you feel about that? Is it wise, to stay silent? Or sometimes when you stay silent, does it make you feel small? Mm-hmm. Drop something in the chat. Let us know how you feel about that.
Yes. I know some of you have often had to speak out, if you're being mistreated. We talked about the Gen Z earlier. Normally they will speak out. Sometimes the millennials will keep our mouths shut. But like I said, it's a different generation. And how do you feel?
Okay, I see. We got big love to Marcus in DC. Okay, what's up, Marcus?
Okay.
He says, my grandfather couldn't look at a white man in the eye. I dare one to disrespect me today. That's what it say. That's that generational fire. Okay, Marcus, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
DC, hey, it's all going down in DC right now. Should have talking about going down in the DM. It's going down in DC right now. Okay.
Yes, it is. Okay, guys. Now let's talk about boundaries, wisdom, and ways to respond. How do we react to all of this drama, all of this disrespect that we've been talking about? Okay, we're going to flip this thing. Instead of just reacting, how do we respond with wisdom? You want to be smart about it. You want to practice. You want to think about it before you react. Because rude people want your energy. But peace is your power, guys.
Exactly.
So, William, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Arlen, Mr. 901. Loving myself, I like that. Thank you for joining us as well. Thank you guys for contributing. Thank you for the beams. Thank you for the gifts. We do appreciate it. Remember, your gifts go a long way because they help us continue this podcast. And it means a lot to us. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We're always trying to hit our gift goals. Yes. So you guys, please remember that. We appreciate the gifts. We thank you. Mm-hmm. Every little bit counts. Now, in regards to what you were saying, Doc B, instead of that, how do we respond with wisdom? I'm going to tell you, I have a personal 3-point system, and I'm going to share it with you guys tonight, okay? the first step is to pause. You know, just take a deep breath. So when somebody's being rude or disrespectful to you, before you react, pause. Just take that deep breath, okay? Now, after you do that, you have to assess the situation. Is it worth it? So ask yourself, you know, is it worth whatever comment you finna make? You know, think about the pros and cons before it come out your mouth.
Example, is it worth you what? Losing your job.
Exactly, or going to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Reprimanded.
Exactly.
You have to determine that.
And number 3 is whether to respond or to exit. Either speak truth or walk away like royalty. You know, those 3 personal 3-point step system have helped me stay out of trouble, helped me from losing my job, helped me from going to jail.
Yes. You walk away like you a king or a queen. And listen, and sometimes you might say, well, hey, I'm going to let God handle them. So that's,
put it in God's hand.
Put it in God's hand. That's
why we're talking about the prayer emojis. Put it in God's hand now.
Yes. Now, some phrases that can protect your peace. These are some you can say to yourself, well, I'm not accepting that energy today. Exactly. Let's say that to yourself. It's like meditation. Or you can say, we can continue. You can tell that person, we can continue when you're ready to speak to me with respect. You know, that's a way of demanding that they respect you. Now I can't guarantee you 100% that that's going to work, but that's an option. And then you can tell them, you don't get to speak to me like that. Okay, Broker J, what are some other strategies?
Yeah, and knowing when silence is your strength.
Okay.
And when it's submission. You know, you have to know when to be silent. You know, a lot of time we want to speak our piece. We want to get to it right now and let you know how I feel about it. But you can't always do that.
No, you can't.
Sometimes you have to be a little bit submissive. You have to back away for a minute, you know, and calm yourself down. And also, you want to, how do you coach your kids and teens about handling rudeness? Because, hey, in today's world, and we're going to go back to it because, hey, I'm in this class myself, especially with black and brown people. When you got your kids, especially teens, you know why? Because teens look like adults these days. And police, they handle them like adults these days. So you have to teach your kids and your teens how to handle rudeness because, like Doc B was saying earlier, the Gen Z, they off the chain. You know, they ain't taking the rudeness from nobody. Some of them don't even take it from y'all as their parents. Right? So you know how they might feel about it out there in them streets. And then
another thing, guys, you have to remember that your teens are watching you. So, you know, if you're pulled over and based on the way that you handle that situation, they may in turn handle the situation the same way. So you have to be careful with that as well. Okay?
Exactly.
So now, guys, we need you guys to participate. I need some comments. What is your go-to phrase when someone disrespects you? What do you say to yourself? I want you to drop it in the comments because we're building a power phrase bank. We want those comments. And if you share those comments with us, your power go-to phrase, someone else may be able to use that same phrase to get them through a tough situation as well, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Exactly, like Doc B say, guys. Come on now. What is your go-to phrase?
All right, Eric and the spoiler, guys, we need those comments.
What is your go-to phrase when somebody disrespects you?
Yes.
Go ahead and drop it in the comments, guys.
I see it, honey. I see it. Jesus, take the wheel.
Okay, all day long. Yes. All day long. Prayer emoji. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talking about. We're building that prayer power bank right here. Live. J&B Live. That's what I'm talking about.
Remember, guys, that is one of my favorite ones. Jesus take the wheel because he can guide you through that process. You know what I'm saying? In other words, God knows the outcome anyway, but you need him because, Lord have mercy, I know my tongue Oh my goodness. I would have said something, honey, I might be locked up. So I need him.
I
need him to take the wheel.
We got a shout out to Queen Shay in Charlotte. She said, I'm hitting them with not today, not ever, period. Okay. You know, we love it. You know what I'm saying? We love it, guys. Hey, keep them comments coming. Thank you so much.
You for sharing it. Now, guys, y'all use those comments because, you know, I'm not saying that this will never happen to you. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you, but the key to it is if it does, you're going to be prepared, right?
That's right. You got to protect your peace, guys. You got to be smart about when you run into these situations with these rude people. You have to be smart, guys.
Okay, guys. So what I need you to do is like and share this content with someone that you may know. And also make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our contents. Okay, guys? So now we're going to talk about the power of your voice. Last week we talked about that power of the tongue, okay?
Exactly.
So you have to be careful. So now we're going to talk about legacy and leadership, guys, okay? All right, Broker J3, what you got?
Okay, guys, look here. Now, as we close today, this powerful conversation, and we got to ask you guys, what legacy are you leaving behind? You know, how do you raise the next generation to walk with confidence and not fear? And so that's what I'm afraid of right now, guys, is because of what's happening in the United States. How our young children, my children, grandchildren, are going to be affected. A lot of us, even for now, for the people that are in their 70s and 60s, maybe 80s, because you know, they're going to be affected as well. They may not be affected right now, but they will. But I'm thinking about the legacy that we leave. That, you know, how they gonna be a handler. Exactly. Just remember, guys, our kids are watching. They're watching everything that we do. They need to know how to speak truth and stand firm, hold boundaries, and still lead with love. Don't let anybody run over them. It's not just about reacting to rudeness. It's how you handle it and you redirect the narrative. That's what you got to do. Exactly, guys. And you know, and this is very powerful, you know, because we, even though we're telling you guys how to handle it as adults, you know, getting them young generations ready for it, because even again, like Doc B is saying, what's going on right now in the government is something serious. Yeah. For some reason, it seems like we're slipping back into Jim Crow. Yes. We're slipping back into segregation. They're
trying to take us back. We're
slipping back, guys. And right now, we're not trying to hear that. But, you know, we at the same time, we got to be prepared. We cannot fall for the okie doke. We can't put ourselves or our children in situations where we find ourselves locked up without a job and situations like that.
Yeah, because that's what they want you to do. And like I said, I can only speak for myself. I know how I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I had a sharp tongue. And sometimes you got to be careful what you say. You got to know. We talked about it earlier. Sometimes it depends on the location, the time, where you are. It depends. A lot of things that you have to take into consideration, and you have to know how to react to certain situations because you don't want that tongue to land you in jail.
Exactly. So we're going to have a few final discussion points. And what we want to do is we want you guys to teach the next generation. You know, we want you to teach them dignity. Discernment, which is very important, and self-worth. You know, let's learn how to lead with grace without losing your edge.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
And also, let's build cultural resilience and unity in the face of division.
Yes. And so that's what happens. Like Broker J3 said, they're trying to take us back, and so we're not going back. You know, we're not going back to that day when we're erased. They're really just trying to erase us out of history, and so we're not going back. So you know, you got to know how to handle yourself moving forward. So one thing that I do want to reflect on is what one promise, guys. I want to know this: what one promise are you making to yourself after this evening's episode? Tell us what you're going to do differently, how you're going to move forward. Speak it in the chat section so we can agree with you. And what you say in the chat, in the comment section, it may encourage someone else as well.
Exactly, guys. Do as Doc B just said right now. What's one promise that you're making to yourself after tonight's conversation in regards to how you handle the rudeness from other people? Put it in the chat. so that we can agree or disagree with you, depending on what you do. Put it in the chat right now. And while you guys are doing that, I want to let you guys know we appreciate you. Thank you for joining J&B Live. Mm-hmm. We are available on all social media platforms.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Our main platform is YouTube, Live with J&B. So you guys can go to YouTube. You can see all of our playlists. You go to our channel, enjoy all of our content. Yes. We have so much content that you guys will absolutely enjoy. You guys can go back and watch all of our previous episodes of J&B Live. Amazing content that you guys can share with your family and friends, especially if you get one of those podcasts where you feel like you got to share that with somebody else. And for some of you guys out there, you don't have time to be able to watch the video of J&B Live or some of the content. We also got you guys too. You can catch us on your podcast channel, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart Radio, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast enjoyment from. Look for J&B Live Podcast, and you'll see me and Doc B there. And go ahead and follow us and subscribe to the content.
All right, guys. All right, Johnny Clay, Ronnie Allen, and Andre. And we had a comment that's from Loving Yourself that says that realize that everything that you think don't have to be spoken. That is true.
Exactly.
That is true.
Exactly.
Sometimes you do need to just pause.
Loving Myself, thank you. Yes. We appreciate you. We hope you subscribe and follow to it. Yes. We appreciate you today, girl.
Sometimes you can just not say anything. I agree with you 100%. I've been in a situation where sometimes I don't say anything. And sometimes if you don't know how to react, don't say anything. Like I tell people sometimes, when you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And sometimes, like I say, you don't say nothing, but God knows your mind. He knows what you're thinking. And like I say, sometimes that might be the best thing for you to do. So thank you. Thank you for those comments, because someone probably needed to hear that, because they may be in a situation where they may need to take a pause. Thank you. I sure do appreciate that.
We got some people from out of town that done joined us, Doc B.
Okay, awesome. Okay, now that's awesome. Yeah. All right. Okay, guys, we've got people from Brooklyn to Baton Rouge, from Chicago. Chicago to Charlotte. Y'all kept it real this evening. Y'all kept it raw and y'all kept it righteous. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all already know what it is. Again,
thank you. Much love to you.
We appreciate all of that love that you guys have been giving us. We appreciate what you got. DC. That's what we talking about. Shout out what we talking about.
Now, when we come back on Tuesday, I want someone to be here. We're here live Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 o'clock. I want you to share with me some of the things you said you were going to do. If you didn't post it in the comment section, I know you were thinking it. So I want you to share with us what you did to handle that rudeness.
And make sure you guys follow us.
Yes.
Follow us. We're going to follow you guys back. Follow us. And make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. Yeah. Again, if this conversation blessed you guys, like it, subscribe. Share the love. Continue to send those gifts, guys. Even when we're not here, you guys know you can still send those gifts to J&B Live Podcast. Every little bit counts. And if you feel like, if you feel led, hey, give. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Help us to keep this platform authentic and strong. It means a lot to us.
Yes, it does. Much love to you guys. Much love to you. Some of you who are just not joining us, Jamie, thank you. I appreciate you, Jamie. Thank you so much. Loving Myself. Oh, I just love you. I'm in love. Oh, thank you, James Matthew, for joining us. We do appreciate you guys so much. Okay, we got Smart Beauty. Thank you for joining us, Smart Beauty. We appreciate you as well. You guys are just out of sight. We appreciate all of the love that you've shown to us this evening. Thank you so much. Now, this has been a J&B Live podcast where the conversation is courageous. We keep it real. Y'all know that right now. The community is strong. We got a family. You're the J&B family. We appreciate you. And we are about the truth Always unfiltered, Broker J3.
Always unfiltered.
Okay, guys. Until next time.
I'm Broker J3.
And I'm your girl, Dr. B.
And let's talk about it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your support.
Love you guys.
Love you.